Hi guys, it's Emily from Bowel Novels and welcome to today's video. This is the Books for Bowel Cancer Readathon TBR. Now, obviously I will go over the prompts and everything else. First, it's being hosted by the lovely Charlie from Charlie Book Reads, my beautiful, gorgeous sister, and it is in honour of bowel cancer awareness. Now, I've not kept everything that Charlie's written down next to me, but obviously I will go over the prompts shortly. At the end of the video, I will be like including like the pictures of the board. She's got some prompts. She's got a load of other graphics that I will be including right at the end of the video, and I will be showing a picture, obviously, of her bookmark, and I will see if I can. I will link Charlie's video because that has got the Etsy shop, that's got all of the things, and you guys know I am not good at that. But she is obviously selling bookmarks in honour of the readathon, and the money will go towards I think it's a bowel cancer charity. I can't remember the exact charity that she's doing it for, but the money in every bookmark you buy will be going to raise money for that charity. So like I said, I will be linking Charlie's announcement down below, and obviously in her announcement I believe there is the Etsy shop. If I can copy the link for the Etsy shop I will, but please go to Charlie's channel to watch the announcement, to watch where she talks about the bookmarks and that. They are on sale straight away. I bought one already. I stupidly left it upstairs because I'm like this, but obviously check it all out, and she will go into much more detail than I am good at organising. You guys know me, I'm ditzy and a pain in the arse. Literally, great analogy, isn't it, saying that with the readathon. Right, so before we go into details on the prompts and showing you what books I'm going to read, for those of you that are not subscribed to Charlie, which you bloody well should be because she's the dog's bollock, she's my best friend as well as being my sister, I want to explain why this readathon means a lot to us as a family and why she is doing this. Bear in mind, I may well cry, and I'm going to try my bloody hardest not to, but I'm already feeling the gulp when I said this. Charlie's video goes into a lot more details about everything, what we've been through as a family, but I wanted to say my piece, and not my piece, I wanted to explain why it matters to me, and for those of you that don't follow Charlie, know it a bit more. Bowel cancer has affected our family twice. Luckily, it was two different journeys, but as you can well imagine, bowel cancer devastated our family. In 2009, our father passed away from bowel cancer. He had been ill for a while, at least a year or two before the diagnosis. He started losing weight faster than anyone knew. He didn't tell us. He was having symptoms where he would times where I didn't know any of this at the time. I wish I knew more. Like, he was so close to Charlie. He's close to all of us, but yeah, he was closer to Charlie, and I think she knew slightly more, but I don't think we knew a huge amount. He would have times where he was very constipated. He had times where he was having the runs and he had accidents, I believe, but he hid it. He didn't go to the doctors, and when he did go, he didn't tell them the whole story. He hid it for a long time. My first real awareness, because you don't see, like, when he first started losing weight, we were like, he was a big guy. Like, if you see, I'll try and include a picture of him. I think I've got some that the girls sent me. Before he got ill, he was a big guy. He was like over 6 foot. He had a big cuddly tummy before he got ill. And I want to tell you, my dad was a great guy. We fought, God, me and my dad, we were proper clashing. But that's the thing, I want to tell you about that, because my dad wasn't just that. He loved aeroplanes, he loved adventures, he went for walks, he was a countryside. He gave the best hugs you could ever have in your life. And when he gave you a hug, you flipping knew it. Like, you felt safe. He was there at some of the worst points of my life when I nearly died after my car accident. And there were times when, God, he ran away. Like, he didn't cope when I had my blood clot. He hid in the corridor. He didn't cope. And I wanted my dad. And to this day, all these years later, I still want my dad. But because he was scared, and like I said, there were things he loved. He was a good guy. Because he was scared, and because he was embarrassed by what was going on, he didn't get it checked. And for that reason, despite being diagnosed in January of 2009, bowel cancer took our father in October 2009. 10 months later, he took it. My 30th birthday, he was very poorly. He didn't remember seeing me. I went to see him in the hospital. He didn't remember seeing me. And after that, I remember him saying to me, "I'm sorry." And he was poorly. He gradually went downhill. We went downhill pretty fast. He died in the Valley Hospice. And the day before he died, I don't know if any of you are believers, but me and Charlie were with him the night before he died. He waited until we were all asleep. He died in his sleep. And he didn't suffer, but he died. But the night before, me and Charlie were holding his hand and singing his favourite John Denver songs, and I felt like his spirit left us then. And we were holding his hands, but he didn't want us to with him. I believe genuinely he didn't want anyone there when he died. He waited until he'd seen Vicky, until Vicky had said goodbye. Because of his fear, bowel cancer took our dad. It's meant that my kids have never met their grandfather. They will never know his amazing big heart. They will never know this chatty, bubbly, loud, incredible guy that he was. So Charlie is doing this readathon to support that. Unfortunately, I really knew this was going to be a mess. Last year, at the end of the year before last, but at the start of last year, my mum started noticing symptoms that she was struggling with. She started noticing some symptoms, and she was brave. She remembered that things weren't right. She remembered some of the symptoms and what it could be, and she went and got it checked straight away. And I am so thankful. Because despite being diagnosed and starting to get it checked out in January, in April 2009, last year, 2024, they did an operation to remove my mum's bowel cancer. And despite it being a tough journey, like, she had a long battle to get better, they also managed to fix another problem with her while they were doing it. They fixed her hernia, which was brilliant because that got her better. But because my mum was straight away sensible, she was able to have the cancer removed, and she is in remission. Now, as soon as my mum started getting symptoms, that fear for me and my sisters, and my mum obviously, the fear for all of us, was bowel cancer's hit us again. We're going to lose my mum again, and I don't want to lose my mum. I didn't want to lose her. My mum's my best friend in the world. Like, she's one of the best people. I'd already lost my dad to bowel cancer. I did not want the same thing to happen. But because she'd listened to these symptoms, because she knew what it could be, she straight away went and got checked out. Like I said, they removed it. They were able to remove it all, and she is currently in remission nearly a year down the line. She's got more checks happening in April, so they're keeping an eye on everything. But praise be, touch wood, praise be ever to God, she's still with us, and bowel cancer didn't take my mum. In fact, not. So Charlie decided that she would do this readathon to spread the awareness, let everyone know the symptoms, because poo's not something we talk about. We don't talk about our bowel movements, we don't talk about poo, we don't talk about... And so when there is fear attached to a subject, you don't talk about it, and you run away from it, and if you don't know, you can't get it checked, and this is why some cancers can catch people quicker, because the symptoms are not aware. So we need to talk about our bowel movement. Ever since Dad's cancer, we learn to talk. If we have piles, I'm someone that's, I'll be honest, since I've had Thomas, I've had piles that have been quite nasty. I have IBS, and I have been forced to talk about my bowel movements. And there was a point last year we got a bit worried with me because my stomach was having some, I think not last year, I think it's probably, I don't know. I think it was last year I was getting some bowel problems and we were getting concerned. And but I was able to speak to my sisters and work out what it could be. It turned out for me, it was luckily that it was the medication, taking certain medications together and taking them not at the right time, and for me, I needed to remove caffeine. Pretty much removed it. I can't remove it completely. So I was able to get to the bottom of that, and I was able to literally get to the bottom of it, and I was able to get some support. But if I hadn't have figured out, I was prepared to go to the doctor and I was prepared to get it checked. IBS is pretty sucky-arsey, and it's not been very good fun. But because we had broken down the fear of talking about bowel movements, I was able to get it sorted. So this is why Charlie is doing this readathon, so that people are aware of the symptoms. You get any of these symptoms, you go to your doctor and get checked out. I've been aware, I think something that Angela from Reading Off My Shelf has done, her TBR, that's already out. I will link Angela's channel down below. And she's talked about it because she's got a bit more awareness of this because she's worked on this area. And she said that apparently now the age of bowel screening is dropped now to 50, and so you can pick up a screening test now, I believe, and they're sending out tests. It does mean you have to check your poo and you have to do things, but it's better to get it checked. So if you have any of these symptoms that I'm telling you about, please talk to someone, go to your GP, get it checked out. If you're worried, talk to someone, because it could mean saving your life. Right, so now let's go on, because I'm feeling very emotional and I did not want this to be a long video. I do think Charlie is hosting a live show for this at some point, but this readathon has been hosted over the whole of April. She's got a Storygraph challenge, which I believe, like I said, she's linked it all. It's all in her channel, so please check it out. She's doing a Storygraph challenge. I am doing my separate readathon for this, and then I'm doing other TBRs. I've got Katie's readathon that's also been happening in April, but Katie's readathon is going within my main April readathon, which will be the video after this. Okay. Anyway, here we go. Symptom number 1. Don't think she's got them in numbered, but this is how I write it. Bleeding from your bottom, blood in your poo. That is the symptom. The prompt that goes with that is book with the red on the cover. I'm challenging myself on this one. I'm reading 8 Lives of a Century-Old Trickster, which was longlisted for the Women's Prize for Fiction last year. It was a book that got talked about quite a lot. I'm buddy reading it with the lovely Chatty from the Mad Chatter. And this is about slave, escape artist, murderer, terrorist, spy, lover, mother, trickster. At a Golden Sunset retirement home, it's not unusual for residents to invent stories. So when elderly Miss Monk first begins to unspool her memories, the obituarist, listening to her, is spectacle. Stories of captivity, friendship, murder, assumed identities and spying. A life that moves from World War II, Indonesia, to Busan during the Korean War. From Cold War, to Protestant Church of China. These adventures are so colourful and various, at times unbelievable, but can they all belong to the same woman? It's also quite short, it's less than 300 pages, so it does match another prompt. But yes, I'm reading this for Chatty, I'll be reading that over the whole of the month. Number 2, symptom. The symptom is losing weight, but you're not sure why. So obviously we all lose weight if you do exercise, things like that, weight. But if it comes off quickly, that is something obviously happened with Dad. Get it checked. And the prompt is read a book with fewer than 400 pages. I've got quite a few. I've gone for shorter books in April. But this is one that I've chosen to share, and this is 2 Wrongs Make a Right by Chloe Lease. I got given this by Kat for my birthday. I'm reading the second one of this in the Spoonies, which is next month. Announcement's coming out for that as well soon. But this is a neurodivergent author, an author that is, I think there's neurodivergent characters in this, so it does my disability rep done quite well. Jamie and B have nothing in common except for a meat disaster and a mutual understanding that they couldn't be more wrong for each other. But when the people closest to them play Cupid and trick them into going on a date, the pair realise that they have something else in common after all, an undeniable need for revenge. Soon their plan is in place, a fake dating obduscusy, and convince the meddlers that they are in love. Like I said, apparently this says disability rep. It's a great book, and it's also it's a retelling of Much Ado About Nothing. And it matches the prompt because it's less than, it's only, hang on a minute, that's actually the excerpt from the next book, sorry, that is actually less pages than that. It is only 320 pages. Matches the prompt really well. The next one, symptom, a change in how often you poo or regularly having diarrhea or constipation. So you could have either lots of constipation, lots of diarrhea, changing off that's, I think that was some of the symptoms I think Mum had, and that's something obviously to straight away get that checked. And the prompt is read a book that's different from your norm, so different genre or format. I am going to try and read and listen to an audio book. I cannot for the life of me remember what it is. I think it's the new Jojo Moyes book is on audio, so that will match for the prompt, but I'm having a bit of a problem with audio books. So the one I'm going to tell you about for definite is this one, which is Journey to the Centre of the Earth by Jules Verne. It is a kind of sci-fi classic, which is completely different from my norm. And this is one the last minute adding. But I think Jem liked it. And it's a very old book, it's classic. And this is a complete and unabridged one. And it's an ancient parchment bearing mysterious cryptograph maps. It's the most hazardous journey to Professor Lindenbrook's career. With nephew and guide, the professor travels to Iceland. Their journey to right to the centre of the earth and the summit of the volcano takes them through secret passages along desolate underground sea populated by prehistoric marine monsters. I am well excited by this, but at the same breath, it is so different from what I'm normally read, so slightly nervous. Next one, symptom, a pain or a lump in your tummy. And the prompt, and obviously, yeah, if you get any pains in your tummies and you don't know why, or certainly a lump, then that's obviously suspicious, so check that out. The prompt for that is a book you've been avoiding, or a revisit, or a soft DNS. This is the one I'm really nervous about because this is 7 Moons of Marley Almeida. I was reading this just after Alice died, and I was reading it with the lovely Angela from Read Off My Shelf. Like I said, I'm going to be linking Angela's channel down below. I got to the first 40 odd pages and I couldn't cope with it. I DNF'd it. I couldn't deal with death. I was not in a very good place, but I knew I wanted to give it another go. It was talked about, it was another Women's Prize book from a few years ago, and a lot of people loved it. It is one of the longer ones, but it's still technically under 400 pages. But this copy was given to me by Jem, and like I said, I DNF'd it because I was not in the right place for it. I'm going to give it another go because it had lots of reviews. I don't tend to keep my DNFs, but this is one I kept because I wanted to give it another go. And next one is symptom, feeling tired all the time but you aren't sure why. Fatigue, for me that's a bit of a dodgy one because obviously fatigue I get with my chronic pain, but again you still get it checked out. And the prompt is, it's a self-care prompt, do something to treat yourself, e.g. a bath, watch a movie, etc. So I'm going to get Mia, I've got treated myself to a couple of lovely nail varnishes, and I'm going to get Mia to paint my nails, that's going to be one of the things. And one evening I'm going to try and have a not reading evening and watch a film. Going to give it a go because I don't tend to stop and read. I tend to like watch films over different lunch periods, but I don't tend to have an evening of just watching a film. So I'm going to try and do that. That's my plan. So, like I said, I will be linking Charlie's announcement down below. I will be linking all the stuff down below. If you got to the end of this video, do me the poo emoji because, like I said, we need to be talking more about poo. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, not subscribed yet, ring on my ding-a-ling, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.